So the Oklahoma City Thunder might actually just be unbeatable. They might just be unbeatable. Because obviously, look, we know they have got J-Dub back. And we watched the guy come back. And a lot of people thought, oh, it's going to be tough, to bring back their second best player. They hardly missed a beat. I get it. It was a close game. But, it didn't look... I watched back the game this morning. It didn't look like the Thunder were ever really in danger. The last time the Thunder looked in danger was against the Jazz when they won by 30. Because they looked in danger in the third quarter. At the end of the day, they're just way better. Way better than everybody else. And they win by 4 points. It's J-Dub's return. But J-Dub comes back and doesn't shoot the ball the greatest. But he's still a net positive for his team. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously, he's there he comes into the game, or he comes on, and he needs to play the fourth quarter today, so he ends the game with 38 points. Or 37 points. 37 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover, and shoots 17 free throws. I don't see how any team can beat them. 4 out of 7. I just don't. Jokic, maybe Jokic is good enough to do that, but they're even better than next year. Jalen Williams, J-Dub did not have the greatest game in the world. When J-Dub starts playing better, I don't know how you can beat them. And the craziest thing is, if you guys look at what J-Dub said at the end of the game, and this is why they're so scary, Jalen Williams on his debut just passed the ball to the guys who've been playing. That was the goal tonight. J-Dub had 8 assists. You have got a guy whose main thing is scoring saying, you know what, fuck it, I'll be a passer. And again, look, he shot the ball 12 times. He did shoot the third most shots in the team. But it's only 3 more shots than Isaiah Joe. Albeit Isaiah Joe was a little more efficient. But Chet even came out with 23 points on 13 shots. They are just too good. It's not even funny. He plays defense. Why? Why did the NBA let that happen? Why did the NBA let this happen? Why did they have to go? Why did the Thunder have to go and draft J-Dub? Could they not just been okay with trading up for Ousmane Dieng? Why couldn't they be happy? They've just been happy trading up for Ousmane Dieng. Ousmane Dieng didn't even play today. They drafted him ahead of J-Dub. They didn't know whether they wanted to take Ousmane for the upside or J-Dub because they thought he was good enough. So they fucked about and took both. Ousmane hasn't worked out. But the fact is that I kid you not. You could probably trade Ousmane for multiple seconds. If you go and keep Ousmane, there's probably a situation you can trade him for a couple of seconds. And then, or you have Ousmane tied to a good contract and a team is willing to give up, the 30th pick or the 26th pick for Ousmane. So then you just say, fuck it. I'll give you the 26th pick for a pick in 2035, which is something that the OKC Thunder would do. And then suddenly they have more picks. They literally play 2K. When players have their star potentials, it's they just keep... Trades don't end with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will trade somebody before they walk. We all talk about it. But am I right in saying, their entire... All these Clippers picks, which J-Dub was one of them, and Shai was involved in that trade. All of their current crop, other than Chet, of their current crop of players can be traced back to the Rashard Lewis trade. And now you've got J-Dub, who's going to come in and only get better. He's only going to get better. The team's only going to get better around him. It's now at the stage, where we've got to see, where we're going to see a team... There's a good chance they break the Warriors record. And look, if they break the Warriors record, give Shai his MVP. Give Shai his MVP. I think it's one of those things where it's a really interesting thing to talk about. because of of Luka's greatness. But like Luka could end up pulling a Kobe. Luka could very well end up pulling a Kobe in the fact that he might get one MVP in his career and we could look back and say he deserves like 10 of them. But at the end of the day, this team could fuck about and win 73, 74, 75 games. If this team goes 75-7, it would not surprise me. Because I think they're good enough to beat almost every team, even without Shai. And you know that's the sign of a real good team. When they are realistically good enough to beat most teams without their star. They're good enough to beat almost every team without Shai. And you add Shai, they're elite. Like, if Shai, who is an Iron Man, by the way, J-Dub is an Iron Man too a lot of the time. The problem with J-Dub is that he just had a wrist injury that he played through, got surgery at the start of the year, so that he'll be fine from now on. If Chet starts playing a lot every game, it's going to be scary. Like, it's going to be scary what the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to do. And like, we actually could be watching the greatest team of all time. Because, in my opinion, the best team of all time is the 2017 Warriors. They are the best team of all time. It took a couple of games for them to get used to each other. And also, in the regular season, KD missed a bunch of games coming into the playoffs and they figured everything out. KD missed a bunch of games. So at this point, like, a lot of people were saying, oh, maybe they didn't have the record. They're not as good as the 96 Bulls. No, they absolutely were. Like, the 96 Bulls were nowhere near as dominant in the playoffs the KD Warriors. The KD Warriors lost one game in the playoffs, and it was to another super team in Cleveland, who had added Kyle Korver, added Darren Williams, who were a super team. They lost one game, and it was to a super team in the playoffs. So they weren't the most dominant regular season team ever. They're the most dominant playoffs team ever since, like, freaking Moses Malone, Dr. J's Sixers team. Even more dominant than the Lakers, because the Lakers lost to a significantly inferior team. And they lost game 1 of the finals when it mattered. And it wasn't like they just lost. They lost game 4 of the finals so that they could come back and win it on their home court. Like, that's realistically the only game in the playoffs they lost. And it was maybe they could have lost one other game, the Kawhi Leonard one. But, like, this team is possibly as good as that team. And I just don't see how they don't win a championship. I don't see how they don't win. And, like, the fact that they're probably getting 2 top 10 picks and they're able to, and worst case scenario, if they don't want to use those picks, they can just keep the Ponzi scheme going. Like, they can keep trading picks for picks for picks. They can keep playing 2K My League. They can keep, if they end up getting, like, if the Thunder end up getting, let's just say they end up getting pick, if the Jazz pick ends up being, like, 9 or 10 or 11. If they end up with, like, the 9th pick and the 4th pick in the draft, they could probably go, actually, screw it. Imagine if they end up in the top 3 and they just say, you know what? We'll trade 9 we'll just pick a random team. Give us your 2027 or 2029 or 2030, 2031 firsts. And we'll give you that pick. We'll give you 9 for 2 future firsts. Just randomly, like, years down the line, when no one knows what's going to happen. So 2 future firsts years down the line. So we don't have to worry about it then. And then we use our top 3 pick on just give us, okay, what do we need? You know what? Give us a dynamic wing that we can try. We have time to turn into a shooter. Die Bansta, we'll take you. Or let's be real. Cam Boozer would be great. Or if we're being honest, if they get Caleb Wilson, the league's over. You've got better Jonathan Isaac. And then also, there's Koa Pete, who if they somehow end up with that Clippers pick in like the 6, 7, 8 range, and Caleb Wilson and the big 3 are gone, you're like, who could we put right in and just be the best player possible? And it's Koa Pete. And you know they're going to turn Koa Pete into a hooper. You know whoever they're going to draft is going to be a hooper. Like, they're just too well ran. They're too well ran. That's all I'm going to say. They are way too well run. But anyway, that's the video. I'll see you guys.